Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wade's Garage. Today, you're gonna wanna stick around for the video because we're going for the first couple of drives and tuning with the big turbo Toyota Supra here. If you haven't already checked out the other videos of us doing the first startup, so you can go ahead and check that out too. It'll be on the channel. Everything went fairly smoothly, and now we were just waiting to do the first drive, get the laptop hooked up, and we're gonna do casual driving, and I'm just gonna follow the steps that my tuner says for the first drive. We're gonna get drivability down pat. We're gonna slowly build into boost, do all the sorts of things. He'll probably tell me to ease into it here and there or bring it to a certain RPM, and then he'll clean everything up and tune it on the fly on the street. Street tuning is becoming more popular now. People can dial it in so easily now. My tuner is in Texas. He's gonna remote in on my computer and take over and then basically change, and he can see live data on my computer from where he's sitting, which is unreal. I've explained this before in a few other tuning videos, but that's kind of how things are going these days. We're gonna get it dialed in on the street, and then we're just gonna do a pump gas tune today. With this setup here, it should be around 600 wheel with the cam setup, the head setup that I have, the boost settings, and we're gonna add a little bit of octane booster in there just to be safe. I'm not sure what the target is for boost yet. We'll have to find out what he's comfortable with on pump gas, and then we'll take it from there, but stick along. So we're gonna go over the setup here. PSR 7172 turbo, T4 flange, Artec manifold, dual wastegate, open at the bottom there, 4-inch downpipe, 4-inch all the way back that I custom made myself. Powerhouse Racing intake, Powerhouse Racing intercooler kit here, 2.5 on the hot side, 3-inch on the cold side. So cold side meaning after the intercooler, after the air's cooled down. Hot side meaning before the intercooler, in case you guys didn't know. Stock intake manifold, Injector Dynamics 1700 cc injectors. Those are some big boys in there. Those are definitely overkill for like a pump gas setup, but I bought those intending for E85. Flex fuel setup, like I said, I'm gonna be running E85 on this eventually, so that's all ready to go in the computer. We're gonna have to do a separate tune for that eventually, but drive-by-wire setup, so Bosch drive-by-wire. We got rid of the drive-by cable. Look how simple everything looks. No cable, no nothing, just one wire going to it. 272 cams, BC springs and retainers as well. Basically, the mild head stuff's done. Stock bottom end, Powerhouse Racing radiator, a one-up fabrication, coolant overflow. This thing fits unreal. Fits really, really good in there with the stock battery location. Other than that, not too crazy of a setup. Everything should be ready to go here. Like I said, we had it running in the original videos there and idling and revving and everything else. Now all we have to do is do a first drive on it and kind of just do a checklist. But first, before we do anything, I wanted to flush the oil system because I have all the cam grease and everything else and whatnot from installing those cams. So like the assembly lube and whatnot, I want to flush all that stuff out. So first we're going to do an oil change on this thing, drop the oil out, bring it around. I'll move this one out of the way here, and then we'll put this one on the hoist and then drop the oil. Then once we drop the oil, we'll get on the computer. We'll start tuning this thing. We're always using the best, the Valvoline VR1 racing oil. This stuff is awesome. High zinc, it's good for high horsepower builds like this. Keep everything lubricated really good, and I'm running 10W30 in this car. Okay, so oil is all changed. All the levels are checked now. We should be good to go. Let's shut this hood and go for a little rip. I got the laptop sitting in there. Get this thing all dialed in here. So let's go for the first test drive. Okay, so we're all hooked up here and we are online. Okay, so we're gonna start with just some cruising. Get all the fuel tables dialed in on cruising, going through the gears, everything else. Then he said we're gonna bring it up to like 3,000 RPM and lean into it a little bit. It's on wastegate spring right now, so it's only on 10 PSI is what I have for those wastegate springs in there right now. And then he can turn it up from there via boost controller. Already hear that turbo. I'm hardly even touching it. Hope you guys can hear me in here. It's a little windy, but drive's really good. Like, it's just cruising right now, and I got nice and long gears with that rear end combined with the T56. It's super good. I can hear a tiny bit of the rear end in this thing just because I have really solid bushings pretty well on the back end of this thing on the diff, but for it to drive like this, the base map that Lawrence has done on this is just absolutely unreal. He hasn't even touched anything yet on it. Air fuel ratios are perfect right now. Temperature's good. Oil pressure's good. So we just did a bunch of first to second to third to fourth to fifth to sixth cruising. And now we're going to lean into it a little bit so we can get the buildup of the fueling before it hits boost. So we're going to bring it to about 3,000 RPM and then shut it down. That blow-off valve sounds so good. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I'm going to do a bunch of this partial stuff here with him and get this all sorted out, and then I'll come back on with you guys when he's ready to do a 5,000 rip or whatever, and then I'll bring you guys back on when we're about to do all the way to red line. Okay, so we're going to bring it up to about 5,000 RPM watt pull now. So this is only on 10 PSI still. Only 10 PSI and I cut right at 5,000. Turbo spool up sounds super good. Just got the go ahead to bump up the boost a little bit. After a few partial cleanups, he went back and forth with me a little bit. Just trying to cut this to the chase for you guys because tuning is long, takes a long time, and it's tedious work. But I'm just gonna update you guys with the exciting parts with it. So this next one, we've upped the boost a little bit. We're gonna bring it to 6,000 RPM from 3,000 in third gear. Woo! There we go. Seatbelts locked up. Look at those. That was only 6,000 RPM and 14 pounds of boost. I'll come back to you guys when we up it a little bit more and when we bring it right to red line. The throttle response from this drive-by-wire is unreal. It sounds mint. This clutch feels super good too. Oh my God, I'm hardly even touching it right now. It hooks up really good. I'm gonna try to see how well these tires hook up once we get everything dialed in, and I meet you guys up at the end here. Okay, now we're on the full, made a few more rips with the other logs. Look, they look good. We're on the full target with about 100 octane that's in it right now. 18 pounds of boost is our target. So I think we're gonna stop at that with pump gas combinated with, you know, like the race fuel additive or whatever to bump it up to 100. That's what we're putting a cap on for now until we go to E85, where we'll bump it up a little bit more and make a little bit more steam. Just gonna wait for a straightaway here. All this is being done in Mexico. So, oh my God, this thing sounds so good. Woo! Little shift into fourth there, I couldn't really resist. This thing is moving. Wow, that feels super good. Looks like our target was 18.5, 18, our peak boost, which is exactly what our target was. So it means that all my wastegate stuff is plumbed up properly. Everything seems to be working as it should. These tires hook up really good. This is only about like 600 wheel right now, like 580, 600 wheel, but I got 275s and they're super soft tires. Warmer day today. Third gear, I can wind right out and it doesn't spin. It hooks up and just takes off. Not to mention that why everybody puts 1,000 horsepower to these cars, because they put the power down so well. For an older car, it's just the way the chassis is designed and everything, they just do it so good. So that's why you never hear of a Supra out there, big turbo, that's anything less than 1,000 horsepower. So we're definitely gonna get up to that point when we put this thing on E85, but for right now it's safe at the boost rating and the timing that we've got it set at right now for pump 100 or whatever, like race fuel. But then E85, crank her up a bit more, and then we get that sweet E85 smell out of this thing. Try to get a second gear hit here. Spun a little bit, got a little wonky on the back end there, but pretty good. I'm very impressed. I bet you if I get these tires even hotter, it'll be even better. I'm gonna pull over up here, double check for leaks, make sure everything's okay. Okay, we're back at the garage now from Mexico. Make sure there's no leaks or anything. Make sure we're all good in that sense. And then we're gonna go back out and play around with this thing a little bit. Once he gives me the full go ahead that everything looks good. Tuners are just a whole nother level of knowledge and everything that, like I was saying to you guys before, it's something that I really find fascinating. It's definitely a talent to do what these guys are doing here. Okay, so we got a better cockpit view here. Everything's good. We're gonna go out for a little boot again here. We're gonna head to some closed highways and do some testing. So let's get at it. Hear a little bit of those cams back there. Sounds pretty good.
I turn around and he crossed me, yeah, that's a friend of me. Said he won't go, but I'd rather just save my energy. Drinking my pain away, guessing that is the remedy. Dropping the top, trying to do me like John F. Kennedy. I turn around and he crossed me, yeah, that's a friend of me. Said he won't go, but I'd rather just save my energy. Drinking my pain away, guessing that is a remedy. Dropping the top, trying to do me like John F. Kennedy. Might catch me turning up, overdosing on Hennessy. Lost a couple people, only thing left is a memory. I rock a show and it look just like an assembly. I'm dropping bars, you ain't catching all these similes. Out here in the field, trying to kick it, catch a penalty. Drink my pain away, cause I'm guessing it's
back at the house now. Tuning, everything went good. I cut out a lot of the tedious things that take a lot of time, tried to make it exciting for you guys for the video. It didn't take long at all for us to dial this thing in. Everything is perfect on the car. Everything looks good, no leaks or anything. The only problem we had was a little bit of an oil leak at the beginning there with the set screw not being tight and the drive-by-wire situation where we just whipped some pins and made that all happy. But other than that, everything else has been perfect. And that is a win in my books because the amount of things that could go wrong with this, and that's the only couple things, there's a few minor things, pretty sweet. Works out pretty good. Makes me want to build another car, even though it's stressful doing it every time. But that's gonna conclude today's video, guys. I'm gonna get some more videos here soon for this car. And then the 350 as well. I'm gonna get some new tires, some gripped up tires, see what it's like to actually have grip in first and second in that car. Because right now they're pretty bald on the back and they're not great tires anyways. They're Firestone Indy 500s. They're okay, but good for a long lasting tire. Not really for like high horsepower stuff. But other than that, this car worked out really good. I'm super happy with it. Everything feels rock solid with it. It actually feels quicker than the Mustang, and that's about 750, 760 wheel. So this is a lot lighter than the Mustang, so that would make sense that this feels a lot quicker, but also a different type of power delivery too. A little bit of turbo lag, that car hits instantly and it's still a lot of fun, but this one definitely feels a little bit quicker because it hooks up even better than that car as well. So now we're gonna play around with it on pump gas. Then we're gonna get some barrels of V85 and then crank this thing up even more and then hit a dyno video. So stay tuned for upcoming content with this car as well. We'll be out in this car doing some verses here, like maybe that versus Corvette or that versus Corvette or this versus Corvette. We have options anyways. So let me know in the comments below what you guys wanna see. I'm always looking for video ideas. Between the three cars, please give me some ideas that I can do for some videos. I'm more than happy to try to make them happen. That's gonna close out today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Talk to you.